y'all doing? Hello, Portland. Wow, this feels really surreal. I was sitting in my kitchen in Melbourne, Australia, like, damn, I miss having friends. I miss I miss doing things with people, coffee things, non-coffee things, and it came to me in this kitchen to do something just like this because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, and listening and looking at live podcast shows. I was like, this would be dope. And I feel like the last couple of years, a lot of this conversation that I've kind of helped drive and start and whatever about like race and coffee has kind of been co-opted, and a lot of people have been wanting to have that conversation without us. And I was like, you know what? At this point, if you don't know, I'm Michelle. I'm also known as the chocolate barista. Probably should. And it's really like it's shot off in the last couple of years. So I was like, you know what? I have a platform, I have a voice, and I want to give that to someone else, to other people, to have them come and tell their stories and tell their truth. So this is that. You're going to just kind of sit and watch a conversation happen between people who don't know each other that well, but all experience something very similar, and that like ties us together, and we feel like family. And we're probably gonna have to like force each other to stop talking because we have so much that we want to say. So we're not really going to be paying attention to you, just so you know. But before we get started, I want to thank Sprudge, Zach, and Jordan. Thank you for always supporting the Chocolate Barista and letting me be black and do my black things. Also, Stumptown, Ace Hotel, La Marzocco, Oatly, thank you for supporting us as well. And there's there are a couple local groups that that the proceeds are going to that we're supporting. So Next Level PDX, they do, yeah, y'all are out here. Social justice parties, that's my vibe. I like that. So I'm glad y'all are here. And Brown Girl Rise and Sankofa Northwest Collective. I'm really happy to be able to give y'all some shine. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna sit down. And I'd like this first guest that we're gonna have on stage. We got a lot of people who are in coffee, who y'all should know. They all have different. They hold different places in the coffee industry. And this first one is a hometown hero. He does his own thing. He wanted to have a shop just for him and his homies to kick it. So I would like to call up Ian Williams from Deadstock Coffee.
Shut up. Hey, hey, hey.
What's up, Ian?
Y'all? How you doing?
How are you?
You know I'm chilling.
You got some shine. You feeling good. You looking good wearing purple. I see you.
You know, I heard that was your color.
Yeah.
And I wanted to represent. I even got purple socks on.
Oh, God
Shout out.
bless.
These are dead stocks.
God
These are
bless.
dead stocks. I got some for you if you need some.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So
what's up, Fritz? That's you. I said, what's up? Yeah. Nah, you know what? My apologies.
So what's up with you and Deadstock and Portland? Tell me about. I didn't know much about you prior to your Sprudge article that came out.
Oh, shout out to Sprudge.
Shout out to Sprudge.
Shout out to Sprudge. What do you mean, what's up? I mean, we just chill. So for those of you who don't know, Deadstock Coffee is a sneaker-themed coffee shop. Here in Portland, we're in Chinatown. Right down where all the sneaker stuff is. So Pensole, the only footwear design school in the world. Compound, Index, Unspoken. That actually also includes all the companies that work with, and all like the little guys, I guess, who work with the footwear companies. So designers and freelance people. So yeah.
How did you go from, you started actually working in sneakers.
I did, yeah. How
did you go from there to coffee?
Well, I was working in sneakers. I was working at Nike. Shout out Nike. Hey, I'm for real. But I was a sneakerhead before I was even really into Nike specifically. I was actually a Reebok dude because of Iverson. You know what I'm saying? Newport News, Virginia. You know, he's from Hampton, and so, you know, hey, hold on, who's from Newport News? Hey, okay, yeah. So, you know, my brother's about his age, and so, you know, they went to rival high schools. My brother could not play sports, but, you know, still, I saw it a lot. So, you know, I just was really into sneakers because of Iverson, and my family's from Philly, so huge Sixers fan, of course. Shout out, what's the score right now? Don't tell me. But yeah, so before, I just wanted to do something related to footwear. I was tired of seeing people get shot and stabbed over sneakers, and I was like, why not just get paid, you know, to wear them, and then try to be that example and whatnot. But then I was working at Nike for a while, and it was cool, but I just missed people. And so I just wanted to create that place where I could just go, well, and then I was going to coffee shops to hang out with all my homies. I was like, man, what's going on? I was like, is that me? So I was going to coffee shops to hang out with all my friends who left Nike and went to Adidas or whatever, because there's no common place to hang out that's not a bar or a club or whatever. Just didn't feel comfortable in any of those places. Especially here in Portland. I'm not gonna say no names, you know, but you know, Heart Coffee. You know, I was feeling mad uncomfortable. Hey, but you know, Heart got redemption today. We went in today for our little breakfast thing, and I felt good, you know, and I ordered a mocha, and this time I didn't get all the shade tossed, just a little bit, you know. But then somebody was like, "Yo, what up?" I was like, "Hey, here we go. All right, cool, I'm home," you know. So, but then yeah, stop that. Left Nike to create you know, instead of complaining about it, I just created that space. So, yeah, that's what Deadstock is.
So when it comes to having your own coffee shop space, is it important to, like, in what ways do you make sure that it's comfortable for anyone who walks in?
I mean, it sounds kind of silly, and I think this maybe even came from, this is something that Abercrombie & Fitch used to do. Instead of saying hello, you know, you say like, hey, or what's up, or whatever. And I tell my employees that same thing. I know, Kevin, you out here somewhere. But hey, you know, but that's important, is being like, hey, what's up, or how's it going? But also just making it, the space itself is a bit uncomfortable for some people. Sneakers on the wall, posters on the wall, stuff like that. We don't have a menu, which confuses people. It's on purpose so that people actually talk to each other. Stuff like that. So just trying to create a place where, like, you already kind of walk in, and if you're not used to that, and if you're not used to that environment, our shop is very much like a barbershop. If you're not used to that environment, you're instantly uncomfortable. Right. And then it's like, hey, come up here. You take your order with us, you know, and then they're like, oh, okay, thank goodness, you know. But if that's a place that you're used to, you walk in, you're like, oh, I'm at the house. You know, I'm at the barbershop or whatever, you know. So it's just about everybody talking to everybody. It doesn't matter, white, black, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Dope, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ian, this is Ian.
Hey, y'all. It's a big couch. Just a lot of people coming.
Right, yeah, we got a lot of people coming out. So the next actual co-host, where me and Ian will be co-hosting together, the next one up, goes to Deadstock, goes to a lot of coffee shops here. You might see him. He drinks coffee. He looks like Joe Budden.
Hey!
Giovanni Filari from Coffee Feed PDX.
All's my life I has to fight. All's my life hard times like that. Bad trips like that. Nazareth.
The boss.
Up, homie, you fucked up, but if God got us, then
We gon' be alright.
What's up, Gio?
I just don't understand why the Joe Budden thing is the first thing that you say. I have other accomplishments that I've done. In, like,
I don't know
year.
any of them.
You've
I'm
accomplished
sorry.
something that none of us have.
I really don't know.
We're proud of you for this, Gio.
I'm associated with someone who talks about 17-year-old rappers and beats up people and gets beat up as well. Like,
And gets
That's
paid
not our
still.
fault.
fair enough.
So what else do you do then, Gio?
Fair enough. So full time, I do work on campus at Nike World Headquarters as a social media specialist. So I'm a lot of Twitter fingers behind the scenes on the computer, and just working with a lot of different people around the world. In my free time, I go to a lot of different coffee shops, and that's where I met people like Ian and a lot of other people in the community. Initially, when I first started, I wanted to build like some cachet so I can like try and finesse some free coffee. And
Give him free coffee off, you see him.
don't do that now, because now I'm like, I really like these guys that own these shops and that work in the shops, so I want to support y'all. So, but if you want to give me free
Appreciate
coffee,
that.
Like, absolutely. Listen,
It's expensive.
it really is, because I looked at my bank statement one time, which you should never do, and man, I spent $45 on coffee one week, and I'm like, this is out of hand. That's an electric bill. The lights were on, but but.
So
that's
did you think Coffee Feed PDX would be as well known, or was it your goal to be like this? You know, I'm the Portland coffee guy.
Not really. So when it started, actually, so when I first got the idea is when I actually visited Sterling Coffee when I was in the Pearl one day. It was after a meeting, and I'm like, oh, this interior is kind of nice, and I just want to take interior coffee shots, like just like as far as like the aesthetic, the furniture, but my pictures were terrible, so it was like an iPhone 6.
You can still work on them.
I probably can, but it just transcended into latte art. So I still have the iPhone 6 actually.
Okay, yeah,
so,
Just the iPhone 6.
Yeah, so it kind of moved into latte art, and honestly, I just started meeting people behind the scenes, and I started to get to know them a lot more. And when I did, it just allowed me just to go to different coffee shops. Then I wanted to be the guy. I wanted all right, it's kind of like the hype beast for shoes when it comes to like coffee shops though.
So do you have any interest at all, like being a coffee professional, or you want to just stay consumer and just have fun with it?
That is a good question. I mean, like, I kind of like what I do now, so writing for Sprudge on the side is pretty dope. I mean,
Shout out to Sprudge
Jordan.
again.
Shout out Sprudge.
Thanks, Sprudge. But yeah, so even that was just fate. I was in Ian's shop and I ran into Jordan. He said, hey, come take over my Sprudge page for about 5 days. I'm like, bet, it's easy. I'll do that now. But I mean, it's something I've thought of, but it's just difficult, like, because I also have an idea of what I really want to do. But coffee is something that's definitely going to be my future, though. I just don't know in what capacity, but this is pretty dope today, though.
So do you two hang out a lot here?
No.
Not at all.
So black people don't hang out together.
No.
Barely.
We got quadrants.
You gotta spread out.
Yeah. If we're in the same place, people start asking questions.
This is very true.
You know,
we got to cover more ground.
Mobbing out last night.
Excuse me.
You can't take things over.
Just ask Starbucks. Just ask Starbucks what happens.
Seriously.
So our next guest is also from Portland. I love this person a lot. I met them last time I was in Portland, and we went to Little Big Burger, which I'm about to go to after this. Zael from Never Coffee, come on out. Look at this. We got Portland represented right here.
All on one side.
All on one side.
Hello.
What's up, Zael?
Not much.
How are you? How's Never? How's life?
It's good.
How's that barista life? You loving it?
I'm loving it. It's a struggle sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's good. It's good.
Do you have to deal with these two being a barista here in Portland?
Not often, just at a lot of events. Yeah. So it's like it's a blessing when I see them. You know,
Yeah.
I like to keep it that way.
She's not being real. She beats me at every throwdown. Now,
Well,
I'm not that good,
You're terrible.
but
actually.
hey, give me a microphone.
How do you spill? He spills things on purpose just so we can go home. Like, that's never kosher.
I just like kicking it in the back.
Like,
I roll up with my squad. Deadstock shows up. We like, hey. And then I lose, and that's it.
We could compete and we can do well. I mean, like, and you just is like, yeah, I just want to go home. The Sixers are playing, so we go home.
Sorry, Bill.
Please continue.
I just want to give you props.
So you're not from Portland,
No, I'm from San Diego.
and have you always been in? Oh, yeah, San Diego.
Yeah, where you at? Where you been? Everyone's like, San Diego. Damn. Get out of here.
Did you start in coffee down there?
Yeah, at Ironsmith Coffee Roasters.
Shout out.
Yeah, the best.
So what is it about being a barista you enjoy so much?
I like the connection to the coffee. I'm Ugandan, and my family has a coffee farm, so I want
It's
to
your legacy.
Yeah, I want to get closer to that. I want to perfect that. You know.
So I want to talk to you three specifically. I had y'all come on stage because I want to talk about being in Portland, being black in Portland, and Portland's a very long racial history. And so we're a part of this industry. that has its own issues when it comes to representation and whatnot. But Portland itself, you know, also known as a very well-known coffee city, and with its history, like, how do you navigate being here, being in these spaces as coffee people enjoy coffee, just living in Portland? Is it like Get Out?
I've seen some teaspoons.
We don't serve as teaspoons.
Pump me? Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, when I first got into it, when did you move here?
Like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I first got into it, I guess it was like 4 years ago. I remember the first big event that I went to was Coffee Fest, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna do this coffee thing, I might have even still been working at Nike at the time. And the first day I went, nobody would talk to me, and I was like, hey, I'm opening up a coffee shop in Portland, blah blah blah, and they're like, it's a cool story, bro. Like, why are you here? And so, no lie, the next day or that night, I called a friend of mine and I was like, hey, can you come with me to this coffee event? And she likes coffee, so she was like, yeah. So I took a cute white girl with me, and she started all the conversations. And people would be like, oh, yeah, so we got this, we got that. So how many did you want to buy? And then she'd be like, oh, I don't make the decisions. It's not even my shop. I'm just his friend. And I'm like, remember me from yesterday? Yeah, now you ain't getting my money. And so there are people who I've been cool with from the beginning, or who've been cool with me from the beginning, and I still use their products. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way that this coffee thing has been. I remember my first throwdown I went to. I was real nervous. I poured. I could not do latte art, but I knew that I had to be there. I think I met one person. I can't remember who it is. And then the next one I went to, that one person was like, oh, yeah, that's that one guy, you know. And then they were like, hey, this is so-and-so. And I knew two people. And then I just remember I had my hat forward, and somebody came up to me afterward, and they were like, nice hat. I was like, hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, we here. And so I just kept showing up. And then I knew more people. And then now I can't go anywhere without somebody being like, oh, I seen from Deadstock, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Which I'm very appreciative of. And I'm not saying that, I don't mean that in any like bad way or whatever, but I think it definitely it
was a rough start.
It was a rough start.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I'm still black.
Gio, like being a consumer, like when you first started walking into coffee shops, what were those experiences like here?
Yeah, so it's a little similar, right? So like it comes down to having to know what you're saying. And when you go into a coffee shop and they're like, all right, what do you want? Someone like you doesn't really walk in. It's not because I have like broad shoulders, it's because like it's coming in like, oh, the black guy, what's up? Like it is different though, like because when I'm with my girlfriend, she's white, and the conversations are 10 times easier because when she talks, it's like, oh, hey, what's going on? It's a little friendlier. And it's kind of crazy because like I just got really good at learning how to order fast and read the menu fast, because when you're just like kind of looking, then they start seeing the opportunity to be condescending. So like, all right, so this is an 8 ounce and this is a 12 ounce and this is a 16 ounce. I'm like, I know, chill, sis. Like I'm just trying to figure out like if I want to be here or not. But no, real talk. Like so initially, so I just gravitated towards around a lot of people like-minded people of color. So I was at Ian's shop a lot. Angel and Lucy at Kiosco, I was there a lot. And also Erica from Arrow, I was at her spot a lot. So and then even just like at Sisters, like Clayton, when he was in there, like he's cool people. Talked to him a lot. Talked to a lot of people around a lot of different shops that just made me feel welcome. But it took a lot of homework, and it shouldn't. Like coffee shops should allow the casual consumer to come in and want to enjoy more about coffee. But for like myself, I had to do homework just so I can know what to order, like what I'm talking about. It's kind of whack, but like now I'm better at it. But someone like myself who isn't like really knowledgeable about coffee, it's probably a terrible experience.
Zayel, from the barista perspective, being out here?
Woo! I mean, for the most part, it's great. A lot of people trust me, but there's like usually 1 or 2 people a day that really get to me, and I'll go home and I'll bitch about them because it gets to me. And it's just something as simple as overlooking me and looking to my coworker instead. And that gets me because I'm like, if anything, like maybe ask both of us, you know? But it's good. I've found pride in kind of showing people that I know a lot, you know, and getting that out there instead of letting that get me down really quickly. Because that used to happen a lot in Encinitas in San Diego. But yeah, it's good. It's good. I think the majority of the problem that I've come to deal with is in management. But now I'm lucky enough to have someone in management that I could talk to about that, and he'll sit down with me, and he'll be like, I get that, we'll work on it, you know? Yeah. And that's a blessing to me.
Oh, yeah. You should show off, because you're great.
I got a question for you, and actually for you too. Did you ever have any times where people straight up looked in the shop or came up and just like turned around?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the music I'm playing, they're like, too loud. No.
Well, we had people just come up to the door and they're like, 1, 2, no.
Too many.
Before they even walk in. Like, I'm not playing.
So I used to work at a coffee company in Phoenix called Cartel, and we have they have an airport location, and that was the location I started at. And in the evenings, a lot of the time, if there weren't a lot of flights, there'd only be one person behind the bar. We just cut that second person. And people would walk by and see this like super cool coffee shop, pour over bar, nice espresso machine. They're like, oh, this is legit. And they saw me back there just, I'm ready. I'm so ready because I love this shit. And they're like, nope, just keep on walking. And I was like, you know, that's fine. I get out of here earlier. So
That's no lie. Like, one less thing I got to do right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Except for I need y'all to come in, please.
Or they would come in and tell me about my job, and I'm like, I'm 40 hours a week. I've been doing this for years. I'm also the assistant manager of the shop, but thank you for telling me about this Chemex. That was just normal stuff. It kind of is a lot of the reason why I can't really work in retail anymore, to be honest. Yeah. But shout out to y'all that are still out in retail.
Good luck.
I cater to you. So our next guest out is all the way from Birmingham, Alabama. We got a roaster from Revelator Coffee, Cameron He. Yes. What's going on?
What up?
Hey, you happy to be out in Portland?
It's a lot of people.
We're not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not rainy, it's not dark, and
right?
I know we brought it with us.
Yeah. How's Alabama?
Hot. It's warm, swarmy. Swarmy.
How long have you been with Revelator, Cameron?
3 years in May.
Nice.
15th.
How long have you been in coffee altogether?
5 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
So has roasting always been like what you've been gunning towards?
No. I didn't know coffee was roasted 6 years ago. I mean, I just did it come off the tree hot? But I was working for FedEx office for 10 years prior to, and then I got fired for hooking up the homies.
Hey.
When we
Follow
eat,
your
we all
dreams.
eat.
Thank you for letting our people eat and be great. We really appreciate that.
This is for you.
Thank you.
And then I took a sabbatical over the summer. Played a lot of basketball, watching Netflix. And then when I ran out of money, which was almost immediately, I was like, I need to get a fucking job. So I lit on Netflix, or not Netflix. I was on Netflix looking at Craigslist. So the first production boxing job, I was like, yeah, I'll take that shit. And then as I was working, my high school friend was there, oh, cool, you're roasting here, cool. And he quit, and I was like, I'll take it. what the hell we're doing here? So like I just learned from there, like, you know, the fundamentals of roasting, and then I went to Coffee Fest 2015. I think it's in Atlanta or something. I don't know. And the owner of Revelator was like, I don't know if you like your job or not, but I got a job for you. I was like, why not, man? I've been roasting 3 months. I'm a professional. So then I moved out to Birmingham. And then the roaster came a month later. I sat there and collected checks for a while. So this is sick. Yeah, that's the story.
That's dope. So let's talk about roasting. Ian, you also roast, correct?
Oh, yes.
So what is it about the whole process that y'all are just like, oh, this is my shit?
Money.
Well, okay.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Money is...
I mean, if we're being completely honest, I started out with Dapper and Wise, which is here in Portland, which is actually right down the street, 33rd Division. Y'all go by, because those are the homies. I started out carrying Dapper. Dapper's who taught me how to do coffee. Mike, wherever you are, if you're in the crowd, bro, shout out for getting your boy right. He's very serious about his craft. And it's actually dope because I saw him yesterday at a cupping, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm on another level right now, because now we're side by side, you know. Still a boss. I'm still here, we had a snowstorm a couple years ago, and if you work in Portland, especially if you work on the service side or if you own a business, you know how jacked up that snowstorm was. Yeah, so a lot of people took a lot of hits during that time. A lot of businesses took there was even like real talks with the government about people getting some sort of like extra money for paying their rent. Because we dropped down to like 25% or something like that for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And it took me until maybe August or September to recover. It was crazy. But around that time, I owed Dapper a ton of money. And they were straight up, you know, business to business. They were like, look, we have been helping you as much as we can, but we can't help you anymore because we still have a business to run. And also the snow is in our city too, or is in our part of town too. So I had to figure it out. So I could either shut down, start another account, but I had no money, right? Or pay Dapper, and I had no money, right? So I wasn't going to shut down. All the other things couldn't happen, so I was like, well, I guess I could just try this roasting thing. So I would buy small amounts, roast it, and I apologize to all my customers around that time because I was roasting some booty cheek coffee. Ain't nobody ask you, Gio.
Yeah, I'm a consumer.
But thank you
this
for
is
being
true.
honest.
You're very welcome.
So I started the roast out of necessity, just to stay open. Got the money back, paid Dapper back slowly over time, and then I was just like, well, I mean, I guess we're here now, and now, you know, and now it's fun. Before it was kind of fun, but now it's like fun.
Is it good? I haven't been yet.
It's all right.
Y'all went.
You haven't been to Deadstock?
I was busy.
She was mad busy.
Damn, we gotta go to
She gets a
mine.
pass, and they just
I
had
had a
they
show to
McDonald's.
get ready
Yeah,
for
you
it.
had a lot to do. Pass.
Gio, what is it good?
Yeah, straight now.
damn.
Now it was
Yeah.
back then though. You was my homie though, so I'll still
appreciate you.
drop by.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Anything.
Thank you.
So why do you like roasting?
I mean, me liking roasting was a complete accident because math and science I suck at. So I think it was the fact that it was like, oh, I need to climb a damn ladder. I need a career. So I was like, that's an opening. I'm going for it. And then I think it's the art part of it where it's like, I like doing this redundant thing, but also you're creating, you're destroying things. I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't know.
It's also cool to have like a craft or a skill that people don't think you have.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
my mom still thinks I'm a barista. Like, I'd never been a barista. I'd never had time behind a bar. What are you talking about?
I work at Starbucks according to half my family.
What was that?
Shit, you were like, boy, you still making them drinks?
You still making drinks? I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, like, what?
Like, were the customers rude to you today?
Are you
Like,
spilling
no,
them macchiatos?
I don't see anyone. It's fantastic. But yeah. Yeah, roasting's cool.
Bless. So I'd like to call up our next guest. This girl hails all the way from Philadelphia. We got Dee Stubblefield from Coffee Friends Philly. Come on up here. Hey. D, a.k.a. at D's Nuts.
These nuts.
Ow.
Two E's, 2 Z's.
You had a lot of people asking you if that was your Twitter this weekend, just to make
it's
sure
like
it was
kind of-
you.
It's weird because first of all, I'm losing my voice because I was screaming Bodak Yellow at the BGA party. I'm not sorry about it. Absolutely. But yeah, a lot of people, I had that Twitter name a very long time ago, and when I got into coffee, especially when I started like working for Counterculture, people started following me, and it was a matter of, it's just funny. It's just like really funny. Like, even when people at me, it's just like hilarious. It's like a giggle all the time. And I like thought about how professional it was and what is expected of being like professional. And then I was just like, it's just funny. Like, it is, it's really funny.
So tell me a little bit more about what you got going on in Philly.
So I'm an educator, and I think that despite like who I work for, I'll always be a person that wants to teach other people, because I really believe that any industry anybody can get into, and it's really just about sharing information. And I'm lucky enough to have had mentors and friends and people in this industry that have, you know, shared information with me and have gotten me to the place that I am, along with like really hard work. And you know, in Philly, I just want to share information. I'm from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a great coffee scene. Philly has a dope coffee scene. And all we want to do in both of those places is just share information so that people feel comfortable getting into specialty coffee, because, I'm not going to lie, it's scary. I mean, somebody coming at you talking about extraction and a refractometer and like first crack, and I'm like, girl, what is that? I don't even know what that is. But sharing information, that's like my whole thing. That's all I care about. I don't care what job I have. I don't care about where I live. I just want to share like specialty coffee with people, because that's how the industry grows. Like, baristas are the first line to like the rest of this, and really caring about them. Can I swear?
Yes.
Giving a shit about them is how you get people more interested. I mean, I got into coffee because I went to a shop in Pittsburgh, Espresso Mano, shout out, and you know, and I was just curious, and I worked at a shop that really didn't care about the science of coffee, and you know, I was taken under the wing of a barista who owns a shop right now, and that's why I'm here, and each one to teach one, keep giving. So
yeah, I feel like the mentorship aspect of this is super important,
That's my
especially for
jam.
us to be able to.
Quick question about education. It's really, really important. I wonder, so I grew up in San Francisco, and in my city, it was very, very diverse where I lived. So there was a couple specialty coffee shops in my neighborhood. There's a Starbucks a couple blocks down, which is where I really, really got into coffee a little bit. 6 blocks down on the Fillmore, it was predominantly black. There were no specialty coffee shops for a number of reasons, but usually when a specialty coffee shop opens up in a predominantly black neighborhood, it's a kiss to death, because it leads to gentrification. How often do you come across just young black folks, like just kids that have been exposed to coffee before, or just, and if so, how often is it? Because usually when they see that, it's a negative connotation.
I mean, it's like really rare. It's so rare, and I think it's because there's this idea of what coffee looks like. And you know, my family's awesome, but like, you know, I've had my dad be like, oh, okay, girl, so you're an educator for coffee. And be like, what did he thinks in his mind is like Starbucks, and like a lot of my family are not into coffee because it's not accessible, you know. And it's just like been with me being in coffee for all these years. It's like, hey, this is what, you know, this is why you need to have a burr grinder, like really little stuff. But you don't see like young kids of color getting into coffee, and it's weird because like I live in a fairly diverse city. And it's almost like you have to bring the mountain to the people. And like, that's what I'm working on personally, is like, how do I bring this, how do I take specialty coffee from like expo level to just people, and really like young people? Cause like, I mean, I went to college, I have degrees. You don't need that to be in coffee. You really don't. And so it's almost like, I remember being in high school and, you know, I had friends who were going to like trade school. And I've oftentimes thought about it, like, why don't we treat coffee like a trade school? Because it needs to be. It's just information. That's it. It's just sharing information. And there's just like, you know, none. Like, my roommate is a like high school art teacher for the Philadelphia school district, very Black. And it's like, why can't I go there and go into a chemistry class and just be like, here's how to make a pour over, and here's why it works and why it doesn't. Like, take it to the people, because if we just sit here on top of all this stuff and these like companies and like salaries and all this stuff, it's never gonna change, because coffee doesn't look like me. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with you, it doesn't look like me. Like, I'm a needle in a haystack, and that's the problem, is like, the haystack needs to be a little bit more colorful.
I mean, that's why I started Chocolate Barista. Yeah. Amazing. Well, our next guest, second to last guest, Ezra Baker from Share Coffee. Get up here.
Yo, we were doing so good with the music initially.
Hi, Ezra.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm all right.
How's that cold brew?
It's pretty lit.
So you're based in New York.
Right.
But the company you work for is not.
Right.
What's going on there? What are you doing?
I do sales. I don't really need to be in Western Massachusetts. I need to like be where the people are, where the children are.
Do you enjoy doing sales?
Yeah, it's weirdly fun. You like think about, you know, you just like make relationships. It's kind of interesting. And like, yeah, it's fun.
So how did you end up all the way in New York doing sales? What's your journey in coffee?
My journey. Well, I started in Athens, Georgia, working in biotech. Hated my fucking job because I was squirting shit into other shit. And then my friends were like, why don't you move to New York and hate your job? And I was like, sure, okay. So I moved to New York, and they are all back in Georgia, and I'm still here after 10 years because of coffee.
What was your first coffee job?
Give me coffee. Oh, yeah, woo. Ithaca, New York. But I was in Brooklyn.
So what was it about it that solidified, like, you know what, I'm actually going to switch it up and do this instead?
It was the process of, or protocol that science had, and then like the socialness of being with the people and connecting with people in a weird way. I mean, you're the drug dealers, and you know, they depend on you, right? They depend on you. So yeah, it's kind of like a fun little relationship dynamic.
Speaking of people, you've been doing a lot more than just like your job up in New York. Like, you're starting to collaborate a lot with Christina Holly up in Boston. And so do you have, what is your goal for some of the side hustle, social justice-y things that
My side hustle is to give other people of color access to the information that's being hidden from us. Yeah, I'm calling you out. Yeah, like, you know, there's so many opportunities that we're not told about, or someone else knows about and they don't share it. And, you know, I kind of created, or not created, but like collaborated with a few people, Linda from Little Skips as well. who is amazing. She is a woman who owns like 5 billion businesses in Brooklyn when the city doesn't want you to have anything. Yeah, to collaborate and like networking, because we never get to meet each other. Like actually, everyone on this sofa, we really never really. Yeah, we never really met.
We talk on social medias.
And we trade gifts all the time, but we like never get to hang out and like work together or anything like that. So it's good to get everyone so everyone will know each other and be able to help lift each other up, and like take over shit.
So is it gonna be like Real Housewives of Atlanta tonight?
My entire life has been building up to the moment where it is like Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I have my peach in my rental home, and
what's your phrase? You and D have
wait,
phrases?
So me and D have catchphrases. Wait, I'm gonna get her to say hers first.
Okay. Oh well. Mine is I'm like your favorite coffee, single origin and shade grown.
And mine is, why cry over spilled geisha when you can laugh over white tears?
Real.
Oh, I have to shout out the woman from New York that goes, holla, at the end of her tagline. Does anyone remember that? No? Heather. Yes. Me and Dee have definitely bonded over our extensive knowledge of housewives, so yeah.
So our very last guest that we'll call up from DC, my hometown, Adam Jackson Bay from the Potter's House, the Barista Guild of America Executive Council. Come on.
Hold on, wait. Where'd you get the can from?
That was not
Hey,
back
where did
there
you get the
earlier.
koozie from? That wasn't backstage.
That was not
Okay. Hold on. The cans were backstage. There's still 4 more left, so I'm gonna take care of those until we leave. Don't worry. The koozie I keep on me at all times because you
never know.
you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready, bruh.
Oh my God.
Oh, Adam, I love having you here.
I love being here.
So you are the first Black person to ever be a part of the Barista Guild of America Executive Council. I fact-checked this.
It's a
How
damn
does
shame.
that feel? What does that
Well,
mean to you?
It means a lot. One, like it's 2018. I should be the first Black anything. Two, like, so I've been a barista for it'll be 7 years in November since I passed my bar test, and it's kind of hard to put into words, but basically it's like I want other people to see, people that look like me, to see that like it's not what the common perception of barista isn't exactly what a barista is. And like there's baristas that look like you know what I'm saying? There's baristas that listen to trap music all day, and that baristas that listen to like I don't know, Beirut and 3 6 Mafia, and you know, baristas that like, yeah, definitely. Like it's just, I don't know, man. Like I felt like it was something I really wanted to do. I got drunk one day on Twitter and said I'm gonna be a part of Barista Guild of America.
And here you are.
Yeah. Here I am. So that's exactly what happened. Like that's.
So I started my coffee career in DC, and it wasn't until like I left DC that I realized that coffee didn't look like us, because
Right.
DC's coffee culture as a whole, like people who go to coffee shops, own coffee shops, are baristas, is reflective of the population being,
Correct.
50% black.
Right.
So when did you notice for the first time that it everywhere else wasn't like DC?
I competed the past 2 cycles in the United States Barista Championships qualifiers, and the first time I went to Austin, and I was like, wow, it's like 5 black people here, and I know 4 of them. So that was pretty much it, because like you said, like in DC, like we do throwdowns every month, and half of the past 10 years, just want to shout that out, with the longest running monthly throwdowns in the country, and I run those. But like, and it's a very diverse group of people, and always has been. So it was really weird to get to Austin and like to hear from like outside that like, yo, like coffee's like it's not like it is in DC, and then to get to Austin, it's like, yeah, it really 100% isn't.
So let's talk about coffee shop culture in general. What do you love about it? What do you don't like about it? What would be your ideal space? Anybody? You have your ideal space, Ian.
Yeah. I mean, I do. And I'm very blessed and very fortunate that I have my ideal space and that people are comfortable and that they want to come to that space. And also that it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And it's not going to. I don't care what kind of, actually, I've turned down a lot of money for that reason, so, yeah.
Dope. D?
So I think like 6 months ago, I found Dead Stock on Instagram, and I was just like, yo, here's a dude who's into sneakers and streetwear and coffee and is creating a culture, and like that is my ideal. Like being a person of color, like I'm into hip hop. Like you guys probably have heard me talk about Cardi B like a lot. I'm obsessed with her, but that is what Ian's created, is kind of like it's something to reach for. But in Philly, there's a coffee shop called Uncle Bobby's, and it's run by Mark Lamont Hill. He's a professor, and he's like a political pundit, and he is born and raised in Philadelphia in Germantown, and Germantown is like, when I first moved to Philly, people were like, don't go to North Philly, and I was like, there's probably black people and good food, and and there was, and so when that, like, they haven't been open very long, but I remember going in there, and just, I saw people, like, I got emotional. I saw people from every walk of life, racially, economically, like, it's a bookstore, it's always busy, and it's a culture. And they don't do this like really great publicity thing. It's not like all over Instagram. It's not like aesthetically well curated. It's just like bring the coffee to the people. And walking in there didn't matter. I've gone with so many different types of people, and they're all comfortable in the same place. It's not predominantly white, predominantly black, predominantly Asian. It's not like high end, low end, mid end. It's just like a space. And like, I've been in a lot of coffee shops over the last like 10 years of my life, and that was the first one I'd been in where I felt safe initially and didn't have to like find a barista where I became a regular. Because when you become a regular in a place, it's just like, oh, she's a regular. But you can go in and not only see people that look like you, but see people that care about the same things that you do and feel safe. And I've never been in a coffee shop where I initially felt completely safe, except this one. And I've been in coffee for a very long time, and that's scary to me. And I can only imagine what other people of color like feel like. So
I think something that we need to talk about on the flip side of that, of what we don't like about coffee, is just the coffee shop culture and the difference between accepting and welcoming. Like, there's a difference between like, hey, like we accept all races, all like religions and genders, whatnot, but then actually welcoming, because when you welcome someone, you actually are accepting them for who they are, and you are on board with them being comfortable. And there are a lot of coffee shops that love black culture. They will play Wu-Tang. They will brew you Ethiopian and Kenyan coffee, but they do not want you to feel comfortable in the coffee shop. Like, so it's a microcosm of what America is. Like, you love what we produce, you love our culture, but you don't love us.
Everybody want to be a nigga, but they don't want to be a nigga.
Pretty much. And not only that, but like,
It's so counterintuitive. It's like, for you to survive as a specialty coffee shop, I would imagine that you would need the casual consumer to come in. So if you are doing everything you can as curating a beautiful social media strategy and having the bomb like Instagram wall where everything is pretty and you're playing the music that everyone wants to hear, but you don't make people feel comfortable when they come in, that defeats the entire purpose because no one wants to come in. And people are really thirsty to call you out if you do something incorrect. I know I am sometimes. Actually, a lot of times. I'm waiting for someone to do something. But luckily here in Portland, I haven't had to yet. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, Deadstock is the first shop I, like, in the last week where I didn't have to walk in and be like, I know what I'm doing. You know who I am? Look at my face. I mean, and also, like, you're not playing, like, Father John Misty or something like that.
I don't even know what that is.
Was that, I mean, I do, but I don't listen. But, yeah, it's just basically having avenues and being like, you know, being welcoming is like, where's the pathways? Like, what are you doing to basically be like, you know, I mean, I walked into your shop and it was like walking to my aunt's house. You didn't have menus. You're like, what do you want, man? It's just like, how do you navigate those spaces to be not welcoming, but being like, you know, I don't know, just like, this is how you get here, and I don't know.
You know, there's that sign that we have a lot of places in Portland, the one that says like we accept all races, genders, ages, whatever, blah blah blah. And I think I was one of the earlier people to have it because whoever was printing it, like screen printing it down at PSU, it was a friend of a friend, and they brought one to me, and we had it up on the door for a while because we don't have like windows; it's just like the doors. We had it on the door for a while, and I realized that a lot of people were stopping to take a picture of it, not necessarily coming in, but a lot of people were stopping to take a picture. And I started to realize what those people look like when they stopped to take the picture. So I took it down because I don't want to have to tell you that you feel comfortable there. You should just know from when you see it, or don't come in. And I don't mean that like don't come in because we want you to feel bad. But if you're gonna come in and you're gonna have an attitude, or if you got a problem with somebody in the shop, I'll hit you with the deuces quick. And I have before, and so has my team. So that I cut that. And I'm not saying that people who have it are bad. I'm just saying that we don't need it, and we shouldn't need it.
That reminds me of when it comes to having support, especially as people who are working in retail. You know, things do happen to us where, you know, if they do come in and they're condescending or they're saying things out the side of their neck, or anything to us, having that support from like our owners and managers that we can do something about it is really important. And I can probably speak for a lot of us here that we haven't had that before.
I've actually had, well, I've had a long career in coffee, about 10 years. And about 5 years in, I was like, oh, okay, I'm a bad bitch. So, I've started only working in places in New York where I did feel supported. And I was able to gather, as we say, drag, maybe, people who were trying it. And I was always, you know, able to be like, you need to get the fuck out. You know, I've had espressos thrown at me for no reason. I kept her $20 bill though. You know, but yeah, I've always, for at least the last 6 years of my coffee career, I've always felt supported. But I do know that that is not most people's experiences. And I hope that a lot more coffee shop owners, company owners, or whatever, you know, give their baristas, whether they be people of color or, you know, any marginalized group, honestly, the power to be like, get the fuck out, you know?
Get them. So,
I mean, I want to talk about when it comes to like the, you know, the idea of just like safety when it feels like, especially when it comes to being a barista. I mean, there's a power dynamic that a lot of people don't think about. And not just being a barista, working for anybody but yourself. There's a power dynamic and there's a culture that you kind of have to like not even buy into. There's a culture that you have to adjust to. And this is not just, you know, being a person of color. It's also, for me, a lot of times, it's been being a woman on top of being a person of color. There's a power dynamic that you have to constantly just adjust yourself to. And, I mean, hearing that you've had experiences where you could completely be 150% yourself, I am like, who did you work for? Can I work for them, please? Because there's also a fear, even if somebody tells you, hey, you could go out here and you could be yourself, and I want you to do all these things, and I want you to be just what you are in this industry. As a person of color, there's always that second guessing. There's always that part where I'm like, I don't know, girl. I don't believe you. And, you know, you have to, like, navigate that, so you kind of toe the line. And, I mean, I've done panels before. I've done stuff before. I am loud on the Instagrams and the Twitters. The Twitter fingers are heavy. But every single time, I'm not going to lie to you guys, every single time I say yes to my friend who asked me to do stuff like that, I pop off on Twitter. I say something on Instagram about really like looking to the industry to recognize my humanity. There is a fear, a huge fear that I know what I'm doing is right, but I will be punished for it. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people in this industry that are othered feel. You feel terrified. I mean, I said it on Twitter today. I was just like, I feel determined today and terrified. I feel strong and scared shitless to come up here and to tell you, this beautiful room of people that I cannot see right now, that here is my experience. And it's been awesome. Like, I love what I do for a living. I love that I'm here right now, but it has been hard. And it was easy last night to look at all this whole couch full of people and be like, yo, it's been hard. It was easy because they look like me and they've had experiences like me, but it is hard, like, putting that out there in the world. Even if it'll help somebody, you kind of have to swallow this fear, and there's a fear. And I just, like, want everyone to know that, you know, your fave on Twitter or whatever, your fave woman, person of color, trans person in coffee, yo, there's a fear and there's a sacrifice that we put our entire lives, financially, emotionally, career-wise, on the line to, like, spread the news that stuff has to change. And, like, I just needed to talk about that fear because it is terrifying. And you could either do one of two things. You could, like, hold it in and just be like, yo, I got what I got. I got a good job. I have a community. I got a 401k and, like, some health insurance and stuff, y'all. And that's mine. But what good would that do for our entire industry? It doesn't do anything to keep it to yourself. But there is a big fear. It's terrifying.
Thank you all for being up here doing this. Really appreciate it. So I want to get into how the importance of visual representation. Dee, I know you specifically, like, have experienced, like, being seen by your company, but you still not being seen for real. So, like, towing the line between, like, tokenization and being seen and actually, like, being heard and your thoughts and ideas being taken into account, like, I don't know, I just want to open up that topic. I don't really have a specific question about it. There's a lot you can unpack.
I mean, mean, yeah, like last night we were just like hanging out, you know, and I remember when Michelle asked me to do this, I remember thinking about what does it mean to be like Black in coffee? Like, what does it mean to me? And it means that I am so hyper visible, and I also feel invisible at the same time. It's crazy. Like I am, you know, Black in coffee, and if a barista was like, yo, do you know somebody Black in coffee? They say like, oh yeah, D's nuts. But there's a part that feels invisible, you know what I'm saying? Like and I think it's it's that adjustment that you have to make, you know? The adjustment that you have to make to working in a predominantly white, male, cisgender, like, industry where I feel like I've adjusted so much to get to where I am. And this is, like, not even for the company I work for right now, but this is, like, my whole career. I've adjusted. Like, I've bent and done all this, like, shape-shifting into whatever I have to be and do to get to wherever I want to go. And it's exhausting. It is exhausting. It's like a filter. It's like I'm filtered 4 or 5 times before I actually say what I really want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm controlled. Also, like, I'm really into Zodiac, and I have a Capricorn moon, so that's probably why. Like, I'm very controlled in, like, what I say, because it's also a part of, like, growing up Black. Like, I mean, I got the message, like, I love my dad so much. Bless that man. But he taught me growing up, twice as good to get half as far. Twice as good. I had to work for years to feel, for myself, comfortable enough to apply to counterculture. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to work twice as hard to get half as far. And then when you get there, you're just, like, fucking exhausted. You're exhausted of shape-shifting and doing all this stuff. And then you worry, like, whoa, there's imposter syndrome, too, where you worry, am I actually good enough to be here? Like, am I actually worthy enough to be here? And it's this, like, constant, like, battle with yourself because you've been filtered so much. And it's that hyper visibility where, yeah, I work for a great company, and to be perfectly honest, I love that another Black barista can look at me and wants to be where I am, and I'll do anything to get them there. But then there's that invisibility because you have to, like, shape-shift so much just to be okay with yourself. So it's a weird kind of idea, and I feel like in talking to people of color and Black people in coffee, where you just, if you don't own your own stuff, if you don't own a shop or a roastery and you work for someone else, you've had to do that shape-shifting a lot. And people don't know, it's like real easy. Like, code switching is so easy for me. My customer service voice is strong. But it's just, the shape-shifting is, like, weird. And it's one thing that I'm, like, unlearning, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Like, I physically can't.
My experience has been different since I haven't been behind bar. It was like I couldn't make it behind the bar. I would be fired. But like, there's 2 things I'm definitely is patient and petty. So, I mean, I will bide my time, because I'm definitely like I understand. I had this conversation with Josh a long time ago. He's like, I can easily just be your boy. Like, I know that. Like, it's out there. You go to Whole Foods, my face is on, you know, like, this was roasted by a Black guy. And it's like, cool, that's fine. I get that. But also, when I get a chance to do things like this, I will have a voice and let you know where I stand. So it's learning how to navigate, like, basically, if you want to have the same feeling at home, go break glass in your kitchen and then go walk on it, or, like, navigate this area. Like, okay, how do I get through this, and how do I navigate these things until I get what I want, until someone is like, okay, I quit. I'm like, sick, I'm taking that, and I'm going to turn it to my own little thing. So basically, I mean, that's what I had to do. Definitely, since I'm not, I mean, every white person I work with, I mean, they report to me So it was like sick. I don't have to actually, you know. I mean, there's a couple people.
Okay.
But I mean, with that said, it's just basically, you know, how do you represent yourself in those situations, and how do you basically put yourself in positions where, you know, 5 years from now, some kid's gonna be on YouTube looking through videos and be like, that guy's black, he's fucking roasting, he's sourcing green coffee. He didn't say anything really like any kind of validity. He's just sitting there mumbling. But I can do that shit. I can get there, and that's. I mean, you have to put yourself in those situations.
For me, kind of not even talking about trying to open a business, because that's a whole different monster. In competition, like I competed in Austin, and that was really great. I ran a great routine. I dropped a whole paragraph, and it's something I'm never gonna let myself forget. But last cycle in New Orleans, I had a really solid routine, and I feel really good saying that now. I didn't say it. Anybody knows me, like right after New Orleans, like I was really bummed out about it. I had a really solid theme. I had themed glasses. It was beautiful. It's on YouTube. But like the thing that stuck out to me was somebody said there wasn't a coherent theme. And like I don't remember any other judge's notes, to be honest with you. Like I read that and I stopped reading my judge's notes because my routine was 100% theme. Like that's literally all it was. And it's hard because like it's kind of like that being hyper visible but also being invisible, because at this time, like I knew I was going to be in the executive council for Barista Guild of America. It wasn't official yet, but I know I was going to be on there. And so it's like, y'all want me to be on this guild, but you still say I don't have a theme it's legit. Like I know it feels like I'm harping on this, but like anybody that was there, anybody that saw it, like the theme was 100% there. And that just really bothered me because it's like, what more do I have to do? Like, and I'm not. Like, the reason why I came out to I'm Me is because, like, I am always going to be exactly who I am. Like, I'm not going to change the way I tweet. I'm not going to change Penguin Saturday on Twitter or Facebook. I'm 100% always going to be who I am. And, like, when I run my routine next year, and, like, it's going to be very, very similar, and hopefully things change. But, like, it is hard being very visible and people wanting you to do things and like wanting to like take pictures and like people that remember you, and then you worry like, do they remember me because I ran a good routine or because like I was the only black person there? And like there's this whole like imposter syndrome that like I don't feel like I belong up here with y'all. Y'all are accomplished and like
that's crazy.
I
You saying all the things I wanted to say.
That's because nobody was following me then. Now folks are following me. Like I get like 30 followers this weekend, man. It's crazy. So again, imposter syndrome is real, and like I wonder how it is for other black folks, because like we always like kind of feel other unless you go to like an HBCU or like you grow up in an all black neighborhood and all this stuff, like which I did. I didn't go to HBCU, but I went to a group of all black neighborhoods. So it's like, do you always feel like you don't belong when you get into a space that doesn't feel like yours? And so like, there's a lot of that, and that's a lot of what I go through on a daily basis.
Can I say something about the barista competition real quick?
Yes.
So the barista competition is basically built so cis white gendered males can uplift each other and in the place that wherever they are, and like celebrate their mediocrity for 15 minutes with rules that are impossible for anyone else to accomplish, and these like fucked up random ass like categories that only are calibrated for some dumbass white male to win. So like fuck a barista competition.
I will say this about barista competition. Same thing I say about lots of other competitions, that like it's one of the few areas in which like you can get people to like look and see you. Like I I didn't know a lot of people in coffee before I did barista competitions.
I agree with you,
But
winning
is
the thing.
I have a thing. No. I have a reason behind winning. Like I have a reason why they all started. It's because like there's a lot of people in coffee that they go back home and they tell their parents to do coffee, and their father's like, what is that? Like what does that mean? And then like it's different if you say I'm a competition barista. Like when I tell people like, oh, I'm in coffee, or I'm a barista, or whatever, they're like, it's fine or whatever. But if I say I'm a competition barista, then like you get looked at differently. So like you're right with this mediocrity, and there's a lot of mediocre people in a lot of fields, including ours, and like. I'm in a position of leadership now, y'all. I can't really, no, I'm not sure. There's a lot of mediocre white dudes in coffee, and then like if they say like, oh, I'm a competition barista now, and they go ahead and put that in their Facebook profile or their Twitter profile or their Instagram bio or whatever, then they feel like they've accomplished something. So like you're 100% right. That's why competition exists. It's to give trophies to people that otherwise feel mediocre. Like I know I'm dope. I don't need a competition to feel dope.
Tell them.
I just want to say what I said when I first came out here, y'all. So, like, access to information is, like, real. And it's real when it comes to competition, too. It's like, I work for Counterculture. I have a whole ass training center that I can just, like, practice in and compete in and do stuff in. And just, like, that access, that's a privilege. That's a big, 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 big privilege. And it's not something that a lot of people have. And I think I've never competed. I don't ever want to compete, mostly because I would slay. Y'all ain't ready. But I just I see it as like in competition. I've watched baristas, work 40 hours a week. I've watched them work 40 hours a week, then go on to compete. The money, the access to like good coffee, the wares, like I've watched baristas like hustle to get there, and I've also watched mostly baristas not win. And I think when it comes to just like, for me, the competition is just like, I'm really glad that a fucking barista won this year. A working barista won. I am. And like, white guys be white guying and okay, girl.
We call that podcasting. They be podcasting.
But at the same time, it's just like, if I were to compete, I should like qualify. I should have the access to all this stuff. And like, that's what I wanted to just say. It's just like access is really important, but who we give that access to is also very important. And I think that we need to start like opening it up to who gets those privileges, who we pull up to. Because to be honest, if a black girl walked up to me in Philly and was just like, I want to be the next United States barista champion, I'd be like, girl, I'll give you my everything. Do you want a Black Eagle in your home? Like, do you want... I'll be like, I'll sort the Quakers out. What's up? Like, but I don't have that. And I'm just like, for me, it's just like who we give that access to, like, privileges to. If you're a privileged person, really professionally, you should be, it's like your job to look around you and be like, who needs it? Disrupt the status quo, right?
And along with that, like, like giving people access to the things they need to compete. Like, I know for a fact I've been told by people who are like educators in coffee that companies will not send any of their baristas or their employees of color to get fucking trained. And you see it all the time. You see, the person of color is washing the dishes, or they're on the register, or probably not on the register. there and like sweeping or cleaning the tables or doing some bullshit, never touching the bar. You know, that needs to stop. Like, you know, even just to get to the point to be able to compete, you know, is unheard of. I mean, and then they end up quitting or, you know, and doing something else because they're not given the same opportunities as their, you know, coworkers. So, I mean, that's kind of like why I'm like, I started wanting to talk about things like this is because, like, you know, I think we have all this, like, similar experiences, but we're never given the opportunity to talk about it. And we're, and, like, sometimes we're like, is it just me? Am I imagining this? And we're not. It's like we have the same fucking stories every fucking time. And, you know, it's just good for us to talk to each other and, like, know about, like, our shared experiences, you know?
Is this one on? All right, it's on. I want to go back to that tokenization shit, because, shit, I'm done. I feel like, okay, I first got to Portland. Some people are going to feel a little bit of shade, and I'm sorry, but, like, it's a learning process. I got to Portland, and I feel like when you said to me, I just want people to see us as people. Like, that's it. When you look at a white barista, he has his beard, he's got his shit together. You know, apparently. Yeah, you know, it's like, oh, shit, he knows what he's doing. I feel like when I've gone into it, it's been like, oh, great, you're a barista and you're black. Shit, let's do this, you know. And that's very marketable, and I hate being marketable. I hate seeing marketable bags. I hate seeing anything. They take everything, and I'm done with it. But as of now, I feel like I've finally gotten to a place at Never Coffee that I can be like, I'm done with your shit. Get out of my shop. But going through that process in Portland, I feel for anyone that's figuring out Portland right now on their own in the barista world. It's really upsetting, and that's why I feel like this right here, we are making Portland history. Like, I look at all you guys, and it's love. Like, we're making Portland history. But that's the message. Is like, we just want to be seen as people, as baristas that can have quality drinks that shouldn't get pushed aside for our white counterparts.
Do you feel like they're, like, when you think of coffee, do you see yourself having a career? Do you think that there's a pathway for you?
I think there is. I'll have to make it. You've made yours, you know, and we've talked about that. And it's different. It's not what any white person is taking. I don't identify as she or he, so that's a little bit more difficult for me. But thankfully, I do have people like back at Ironsmith. He's always there to support me through this. And he's walking me through it, through Portland and the coffee scene, and just telling me to focus on the coffee, because that's what this is about. But unfortunately, I have a little bit more to worry about here in Portland, which I'm sure, like, we all deal with. Shit, you're in Alabama, but, you know, it's different. It is a little like Get Out. It's like Black Lives Matter, and then I feel eerie all day, every day. But yeah, there's a path for me. I have to make it. We were just talking about open up our own shop where everyone can feel comfortable.
Y'all not ready.
The Black Ring Coffee.
Yo, like, seriously, seriously, Expo next year, let's get a booth.
What's that?
Expo next year, let's get a booth. Like, all of us get behind bar. Let's get, like, I've been talking about this since Thursday.
I cannot make any
Can we get a Black Eagle?
We have to get a Black Eagle.
Also sponsors. Y'all trying to sponsor.
If there's sponsors
Where
out
that
there,
money
We
at?
need your coins.
Only.
Stumptown and Henny. That's our sponsor.
BTW, Stumptown and Henny is
That's a drink.
a match made in heaven.
That's a drink.
Venmo me, Stumptown, please.
But just to kind of just go off of what they were saying, like me personally, I'm not a coffee professional, so like there's a little more like validation that's needed on my end, and I feel like I have to do a little bit more to prove that I know about coffee. So for the longest on my Instagram, I actually didn't post a picture of myself because I wanted to compete with like other pretty pictures, and like there's a lot of IG models out there, and they have a lot of likes, and Ian is one of them. But yeah, so like I was just like really focusing on just like the aesthetic and like just the way it looked. And I wouldn't say it's like an insecurity, but like I just didn't feel like I would get as many likes if I had my face in there, because I'm not what you usually see in Portland coffee. So me getting that traction that I needed, and one of the first times that I put a picture of myself actually is when I worked with Sprudge and got to do the takeover.
That's when I followed.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, hold up. That's a black dude in Portland?
Yeah. So then Ian thought I was a white girl for a while.
I did.
Still do.
Anyway, so no, but I think like a lot of it came down to is just like I was navigating through something that no one was really doing. Like there wasn't really that many like Instagram pages. Like there was one like side note, like I wanted to do this. Like, I had like this IG handle that was like perfect, but someone created it back in like 2010, and they posted like one picture and they abandoned it. That's the worst. I had it was like PDX coffee or something like that. Something like really, really basic. Yeah. But anyway, so that'd be really easy, right? But like when I got the traction I needed and started working with Sprudge, I started to be more comfortable like putting myself on the feed. So people were like, okay, like he looks like he knows about coffee, not because of his like social media cachet, but just like he goes to a lot of shops. And then that allowed me to talk to other black folks in the coffee business doing the Black Barista series, which I got to meet Zale, and obviously not the first time, but 7 other baristas as well. And 2 of the common themes were working with a shop that supports them and just having to know more than the average person. A barista being a starting position for a lot of other people, it has to be like a second or third job where we need like extra education so we know what we're talking about, which is extremely unfair. So, and I never saw black baristas ever, like in Portland, which was.
Ezra has to go to the bathroom, sorry.
Black people are people too. We have to go to the bathroom. Just know that.
So we can pop off a little bit about social media.
Let's do it.
Wow.
You ain't wrong.
It allowed me to come up here, so it doesn't suck that bad.
I love the
True.
internet.
True. So we're all mostly on the internet, on Twitter and Instagram, and does anybody feel like, you know, when things happen in the coffee industry, or just like even things that are adjacent, like we can also now start dipping into the Starbucks situation that happened not that long ago. Do you always feel like you have to speak on things, not speak on things, that responsibility on your shoulders to be a voice or not? How do y'all navigate that?
I think especially, okay, so the Starbucks stuff, that happened in Philadelphia. You know, my phone was blowing up like something really bad happened. People were like texting and like really reaching out to me, being black in coffee and also being in Philadelphia. And it's like, you almost feel like you have to like create this well curated kind of like statement about it, right? So I did, for specifically this reason. You know, what happened in Philadelphia in the Starbucks, number one, I'm not surprised. No, I'm not surprised at all. I was more offended that people were surprised, to be honest with you. And I think people were surprised because this didn't happen in like Kentucky or down south or where you think this would happen. It happened in a very diverse city. But being that I live in Philadelphia, like the real tea on Philly is that it is super diverse. It's diverse, but it's also segregated. And where that happened was in the whitest, richest part of the entire city. And so for me, it's just like, I'm not surprised. It's like when somebody says something dumb about like, it's cool to be black and that's why black people are getting opportunities in coffee off on Twitter. I mean, I've said this before to like coworkers and people I really love. It's just like when somebody does something extra racist or sexist, you know what happens to me? I get tired because it's boring. But you are looked at as like a voice. And so you have to gather all this like emotional labor when really I want to be like, what happened at Starbucks is disgusting. And if that can happen at Starbucks, that can happen to any of us, any of the companies you work for. Starbucks is like a really big player in our industry. And I think like Eric Grimm said it, like, you know, like if that gets slapped, we all get slapped. Mm-hmm. And that should be a wake-up call for all of us. Mm-hmm. But you feel like you have to say something. And I think it was because it was 2 black men that were arrested, and then because it was in Philadelphia, I just like my phone was blowing up, and I was just like, I'm not surprised. But then there's also this other side of me that wants to just be like, wake up, like, wake up. You know, what happened at Starbucks happens at a lot of shops. It does. Police might not be called. There might not be video, there might not be, but like that happens at a lot of in a lot of spaces that we as coffee professionals inhabit and we work for. It happens a lot more. And I think that for that Starbucks situation, the surprise, that's the part that I don't really care for. Like, to keep it real with you, when Trump got elected, I was looking at people like, girl, are you surprised? I was like appalled by how surprised people were, just because like the reality of those 2 black men is the reality that I live working in coffee. I'm done.
Oh, I didn't know. I was asking. Sorry. But a couple of things. So like, I think this happens a lot when you're like one of the only black folks in like a specific like area or like a company. Like you become like the figurehead of your race. Like you have to represent, and you have to come together with like a press release of like what you think, like as the people of the African Americans here in the Portland, like, you know what I mean, like you have to create like something to present to people, because people want to ask you, they just don't know how to ask you. So that's really crazy about that Starbucks thing, right? Like I know
refreshing your feed to see if you say anything about it.
Yeah, but to be quite honest, this is like, it's tough to say, but like I was relieved they weren't shot. Like, to be completely like that could have been way worse. Yeah. And even like as far as like just shootings that's happening regardless, like they could have shot them and they could have killed them, then what?
Yeah, I actually didn't say anything for that reason. I was out of town. I was actually out of the country. Shout out to Coffee for taking me to Tokyo. Like that was a great opportunity, but I woke up or whatever to my phone getting blown up like, yo, you see this? Yo, this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if you guys have seen like Key and Peele, that skit where like there's Obama and then he has like the angry interpreter, right? So a friend of mine, my boy Terrence, who might be out here, I didn't hear yurt, so he's not out there. Terrence was like, yo, can you believe this? Yo, son, you lead the city or you lead a country for 1 week and all this stuff is happening. And I'm like, unfortunately, I am everybody, or my bad. But a lot of times, like I'm the exposure to coffee that people have in Portland, and I don't want to be. So I felt like I didn't really have to say anything, or I shouldn't say anything, or whatever. Again, I was tired. I was like, oh, I'm not saying nothing. Yeah. And also when I saw it, I was like, yo, that's jacked. I'm happy they didn't get shot. That's it. This is normal, unfortunately, to feel uncomfortable for people to get the cops called on. I grew up in the burbs. I grew up in Hillsborough. One time my brother and I were taking out the trash. They thought that we were digging in it. One time I was riding scooters with my homie Jason. He's white. Cops pulled up to us and they were like, Mr. Williams, what are you guys doing tonight? I don't know you, sir. Why do you know my name? Stuff like that. This is normal. So why flip out on some dudes that got arrested at the Starbucks? Don't go to Starbucks. So
I think one of the bigger problems with the Starbucks thing is like, these people working in coffee shops who are afraid of people not like them. And it's like, you know, have you never seen a black person before? Are you that afraid of all of us that you think we're gonna like, I don't know. It's been a running joke all weekend, or in the last 2 days, because all of us all together were like, oh, they're gonna think we're a gang, they're gonna call the police. But like, I think people actually think that, like, just because someone's black that they're gonna rob them or something, and it's like not the case. Black people got money too. They don't need your money. You know, that's right.
I kind of want people to realize that though these things come up on our feed, it's, oh, I drink too much wine. It's more, I curate myself every day that I walk into Never. And that's not Never's fault. You know, that's just what it is. I'm on Belmont. It's gentrified. Okay, I gotta look good, even though I'm wearing a t-shirt. Like, I gotta act right. And that's something that we're always afraid of. And I just happen to be behind the bar instead of sitting on the other side. Chances are I wouldn't come into Never as often as I do if I didn't work there or didn't date someone who worked there. That's just the truth. But I curate myself in the times that I do let myself go. Like last week or something, I was playing Gucci. Like, fuck yeah, I love Gucci. But
be free, just like me.
Yeah. I get some lady coming in saying, can you put it on something more? And I'm thinking, we've been playing Beach House all day. We've been playing everything. Like, she'll take some Solange because it's calm black, but she won't take Gucci, you know? And that's an everyday thing for us. You send me these things, you feel your white guilt, but I felt it. We're tired. That's it. It's exhaustion at this point. I don't want to see it online because I'm tired of seeing people that look like me on the floor. Thank God they didn't get shot. You know?
It sounds like a joke. Like we're just saying that as
Yeah.
a joke,
No,
but it's
yeah.
not a
No,
joke.
it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was even like, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I was like, oh, they just got arrested. Okay, girl. Cool. And then I was like, damn. That's it? Like, I feel like it's scary. Like, there's so much, especially with, like, social media, there's so much. Like, I feel like and I'm speaking personally, but I feel like this goes for the collective. Yo, there was a span of, like, a year of my life where I woke up every day and there was, like, some unarmed black person that got shot. And the thing is like, you don't really realize what that does to you psychologically. And, you know, I was raised to think about the collective before I think about myself. So anything I do in coffee, anything I do in life, it is first and foremost to represent my family, to represent my people, and then to represent myself. So it gets filtered. And when you see, you know, the stuff in Philly in the Starbucks, but also that is on top of seeing like things like Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland. Like Sandra Bland, like, is me. I'll pop off on somebody real fast, and I can die, and that's just a reality. And so, like, really just like curating yourself, like curating myself has been a big thing. Like, there is a wall. And I used to be ashamed of that wall and not try to tell people about that wall and just be, like, on all the time. And I'm not ashamed anymore because there is an actual wall. There's, like, I mean, you guys see or hopefully have seen my Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. I'm popping, but, like, there's some, like, crazy stuff I be wanting to put up. There's a filter that you go through. And even those guys, I remember them being like, going on TV and being like, it's not a race thing, it's a people thing. And I remember being like, having things happen to me in coffee, racially, or being sexually discriminated against, or being bullied, or like whatever. And I wanted to be like, it is because I'm a black woman and you can't understand. But I had to be like, no, it's because you know, I'm new or I haven't done this in a long time or I'm in a new place or whatever. And it's scary calling a spade a spade. Like, those dudes could have been like, yo, I'm not getting arrested. I was sitting here. I was, like, not doing anything. They got up calmly because you just expect it.
And also, you're kind of taught.
You're taught.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio originally, and I love Ohio so much. OHIO. And, like, Tamir, like, what he was talking about, Tamir Rice, like, really hurt. Because he was a kid playing in the playground with the toy gun, and I was a kid playing in the playground with a toy gun. And both my brothers live back in Ohio still, and they both have young boys. And so, like everybody else has said, I'm just glad the guys in Philly didn't get shot. Like, I'm sure everybody on this panel has been, I'm sure every black person that goes to a coffee shop has been looked at like kind of weird. Like, to the point we were talking earlier, and like, I go into a coffee shop and I order a shot of espresso and a cup of coffee, or order a 1-in-1 so that people know off rip I know about coffee. Like, which is just another form of code switching. Like, I'm walking in and I'm probably wearing a coffee themed shirt. So it's not just like I'm just here and I order a macchiato and somebody says like, so we don't do a Starbucks macchiato. A macchiato's a shot of espresso with a little bit of foam. Like, bruh, like, I've spilled more espresso than you pulled, bruh. So like, I know what a macchiato is. So and I feel like everybody's had that experience, and like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like, and like everybody else has said, kind of curate. I don't think I talked about the Starbucks thing once on my Twitter feed, and I talked about literally a lot of things, and I don't think I talked about it once because they didn't get shot. We've been, in a lot of ways, desensitized to the way that America treats black people. And so, like, them not being shot is a goddamn win. Like, think about that for a moment. An American citizen walking into a business establishment, only there for 2 minutes, not getting shot by the police is a win. How wild is that where we're at in America right now? And they just wanted to meet their friend and get some coffee. We all want to meet our friends and get coffee, otherwise we would not be here at all.
That is very true.
So like, what more do we have to do to just prove we belong in the space besides create our own spaces? So like,
tell him.
Sometimes I don't get. That was great. But it's funny, like I feel like sometimes, or a lot of times, I'm in a weird position where I don't give a fuck if you don't think I'm belong in your space. I'm gonna take up all this fucking space that I wanna fucking take up. I'm gonna order me 3 caramel macchiatos. I don't give a fuck, and you're gonna, you know what? You're gonna serve me that drink, and if you fuck it up, I guess what? I probably know your manager or your something else, or I can send a few texts and end your life. So. Also know that, like, you don't know who any black person is that's coming in your shop. Like, we everywhere, honestly. You don't know. You don't know who I know.
Well, on that note, thank you all so much. So much. This is... each and every one of you are very, you're brave for being up here, but also just like, you're being yourselves. Like, if you need any more validation that you deserve to be what it is that you are and where you are and what you're doing, like, y'all are doing that. And that's why I have y'all up here, because everyone needs to see it, and other people who look like us also need to see it. It's super important. Like, you can do whatever you want, whether it's coffee, weed, wine. I'm trying to get into that natural wine business. I'm trying to get into all of it. But yeah, this is for us as well. So. Well,
please know that the only reason that I feel comfortable being here is because of you.
Yes.
All right. I knew about you, and there's some other people who were like, oh, you know who would be really cool for you to connect with? Michelle. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, why? Why? Why do you always say, all right, I'm just playing, I already know about her. But no, like, give yourself some props too. I don't know if you did when you was out here earlier. We was in the back dancing and stuff, getting hype, ready to come out
were
here.
swag surfing,
but you
it was
doing,
dope.
Yeah, we were swag surfing. But no, you're an inspiration to all of us too. I'm gonna speak on y'all's behalf because we've been around for a couple of days. Who cares about the time? Y'all ain't playing no movie tonight. I'm just kidding.
Well, I think we have time for like 1 or 2 audience questions. Preface, this is not the time for someone probably not black to be like, so what can I do better? No.
Hire black people.
This is not an SCA lecture. This is not the intersectionality panel. Okay? This is not that. Just anything but that. But yeah, if anyone wants to come up and grab the mic for me, yeah, come on. I see you.
Multi-purpose DJ worldwide.
Thank you. So, hello. I came because I saw Ian on the thing, and I was like, I love Deadstock, and I love Ian. So.
Oh, thank you. Shut up, fool.
So, well, I also love my partner, but I just meant your coffee's amazing.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Clarity.
Someone mentioned that coffee shops coming into spaces oftentimes is a precursor to gentrification. So I live on Northeast Alberta. I grew up on Northeast Alberta. It's clearly changed a ton. It's absolutely a place where gentrification is what we see, what we know. And so even coming into, before I knew what Deadstock was, I was like, oh, just another one of these spots, right? There are many places that I'm not going to name that are on Alberta that help me feel like it's not my spot anymore. And I still go in there, and I still go in with a lot of what, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, sir. Yes, the
ball.
Dude
Joe,
who looks like the other
Joe.
guy.
Or Gio. Yeah.
Right.
Not Joe.
So I guess
Mr. Button.
I really appreciate everything that you guys have mentioned, but I guess my question is for so many young or just black folks, period, who see all of these spaces in their neighborhoods, what can they how would you help them walk into a space? And whether it's a macchiato that they want to order. I think of some of my friends who are brilliant educators, PhDs, who are so afraid to even walk into like even a Starbucks and order something because like they know what to do at Dunkin', but they don't. And there's not even Dunkins out here, right? That's not even a thing in Portland. And so I guess I'm just wondering, for Black Portland in particular, you know, it is our story, right? And I'm living in the midst of it because I'm still holding on like by the hair of I don't have hair on my chin, but you know, that whole situation. So how can we help others, how can we help us in particular, Black Portland, to feel okay with walking into some of these places I didn't even know existed?
Take them with you.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
Take them with you for sure. But like, first things first, like it's your neighborhood. Like they took the space in your neighborhood, and they knew what the history of. They should know what the history of it was. But at the end of the day, like it's really trial and error. Like going into a shop where you feel most comfortable in, and specifically on MLK. And again, I'll reference Arrow again. Erica did a great job of actually paying homage or homage, whatever that word is, for. Both of them, yes, to Martin Luther King, by actually having a painting commissioned in his honor with his mother, Alberta, because it's on the corner of MLK and Alberta. By it's Taja something. I forgot the artist's name, but Taja Williams. Thank you. Thanks, Erica. But honestly, like, go to every place. Like, that's your neighborhood. You should feel confident and emboldened to go into any place that you want, and whatever place that you don't feel welcome, just never go back, because they will notice Black folks who go there once and not go again, because it's hard to forget that face, because they don't see that face on that street that often. So that's that. And then honestly, like just taking someone with you and then ordering, I won't say ordering something simple, but just take your time. Like I have a pretty simple order. It's a 12-ounce latte, but if you just want to look at the menu, just hang out, like absolutely, like you're not supposed to feel rushed, and if they make you feel rushed, then go down the block.
That's all I got to say about that. Yes, I agree with what Giovanni says, but it is not, I can't see you anymore. You're not there anymore. But it's not It is on the fucking coffee shop owners to get with it and know that there are a whole lot of black people ready to spend their hard-earned dollars on your coffee. And so you need to stop making people feel uncomfortable to come in to a establishment in their own neighborhood and buy coffee. You know, we're, you know, what, in 30 years, there's not gonna be anywhere to grow coffee. And we don't have any, we need to generate revenues right now to like plan for the future. No, this is real. No, this is actually for real. Because of climate change, the space that we're able to grow coffee is going to be significantly decreased. And right now, like, you know, the coffee industry needs to make money to be able to plan for that future, be it like through research or whatever. And, you know, black dollars do matter, and you have to engage with the neighborhood that you're building these shops in and make everyone feel welcome and, like, take dollars from everyone. Like, it's just plain and simple. It's not on, you know, me as a black person to, you know, gauge you out. You need to make me feel welcome. And because I'm going to take up whatever space that I need to take up or that I want to take up. And if you don't like it, then maybe I'll find somewhere else, or maybe I'll keep annoying you until you get your act straight and like serve me coffee like I'm a fucking human being.
Yeah, that's the whole thing I was gonna say. Like, the one thing I want most out of what I have is for you not to have it. It's like basically if someone taking your space, I'm gonna be here all day. It's like, I guess I'll just buy a shot every 4 hours, I guess. But yeah, I mean,
being petty.
I am petty as fuck. Yeah. So I mean, like,
I think we're all a little bit petty. Let's be real. I'm not.
I'm more than
really?
a little bit.
Not at all.
Wow.
I'm not petty at all.
Right,
I wish
Joe.
you would.
Shut the fuck up.
That's a lie.
I'm nice about it, but I'm petty a little bit.
I mean, you threw rocks at somebody's car. No, wait, no, sorry, that was Joe Budden. My bad.
Oh! It's unbelievable. Well, we had a good show going.
I'm so sorry.
Any other questions? Oh, okay.
Oh, that's all the way in the back. Who is that? I don't know.
We can't wait to see your faces after this is over.
After row 3, you can't see.
You can't see anybody.
Hey everyone, how's it going? First of all, 2 things. I want to thank you all for your courage for being up there, and to the organizers of this event. This is really awesome. I feel like this is history, so like, well done. I know it takes a lot of courage to be up there and like say what's on your mind, so thank you for doing that. Also, I feel like maybe this is a white person asking what we can do better, so I apologize for that, but I hope you'll accept and help me, I guess, and help us. So I work for Nosa Familia Coffee, and we're going through a lot of hiring right now. And, you know, Ian, I think you said hire more black people. And it's something we want to do, and we want to hire for diversity. And I want to know if you guys have any advice on how we can do that.
I apologize if you're in this room, but I got a message from somebody who works for Nosa who asked me about, they were like, hey, shout out, you guys, the shop is dope, blah, blah, blah. I like how diverse it is. We want to actually talk to you about how we can get to be more diverse. So I apologize for not answering your message yet. I have seen it, and I will get to it. Right now. Record this or whatever, I don't know. That's an interesting question, though, because you guys as owner, and I'm not necessarily just saying this from a black perspective. I mean, if you go into Deadstock, we have a bunch of black baristas because, you know, I'm black, so. But also, we had a guy who was from Turkey, another guy who's Mexican, another one who's from Cambodia, and 2 white kids, the twin turns. And we had a lady who her family is from India. So like we got more than just some black people, you know. So and you guys as owner, where is Augusto from? I can't remember. Brazil. So I mean, just hire the people who are qualified to do the job, and you guys also really support Pear, and I know that Pear got wild amounts of black people getting off the Striznites, because I've been looking at hiring from people who went through Pear through the program. So, I mean, they out there, and it sounds really.
Like we aren't like. How do we reach those people, because I don't like we're not getting those applicants, and yeah, like
Create 'em.
I would.
Go out and find the people. Go to the schools. I don't know. Go to some of the places. Like create those places. Yeah, reach out. Go, please.
Tag me in, Doc.
Hey, I got you.
So I get this question a lot because I'm an educator, but I'm also like I've done account management, right? So I have like accounts that are like, will hit me up from anything from an order that didn't show up to, yo, we need baristas. Do you know of anybody? And I really believe, and I said this before when I first came out, if you want that diversity, you have to go out and get it. And it's really just like, it's gonna take a lot of work, but even if you have to spend money to make money, you still make money. And if you want diversity, you have to go out and you have to get it. Because one thing that people don't really realize is just like, you know why I got into coffee? Because a girl needed a job. That's it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I love the culture, and oh, I love, like, no. I was just like in this transitional point in my life. I didn't know what I was doing, and it was a job that allowed me to be there for 8 hours a day and then creative for the rest of my time, and I made tips, and I made a decent living, and I was like hustling and whatever. And so if you want that diversity, like, think about it. The people that you want don't look at you like something that they want. You have to convince them. And so you have to take that shop and this industry to them. And it's really like, I think a lot of companies in coffee are like, hey, we're trying to be more diverse and inclusive and stuff like that. But, like, what kind of work are you doing? I feel like we're all just, like, waiting around for people to come to us. And coffee does not look like this. It doesn't. And I think that's the hardest, like, pill to swallow, is that, yeah, you want a beautiful black girl like me with a twist out who will quote Cardi B and Maya Angelou. But, like, what are you doing? What are you doing to appeal to that group of people? You have to, like, take it to them. And you can't, like, sit around and wait for a bunch of black people like us to roll up and be like, yo, what's up? Where's the refractometer at? Like, that's just not, that's not realistic.
We're going to end with that. Thank you to each and every one of you again on the stage. Thank you to Sprudge, Ace Hotel, Oatly's, Stumptown, La Marzocco, to Next Level PDX, Sankofa, Brown Girl Rise. This is dope. We're making PDX history. Good night.
She see money all around me. I look like I'm the man. Yeah, but I was down and out like last week. Tell me, where have you been? You came out of hiding, girl. Don't act like I'm your man. I'm just a fan. You don't hold ring. No. Don't hold no ring.
Yeah. Really go with a sick mouth and a snake flow. Got up around me, nigga, and I'm playing when I'm coming for the kitty. Got my folk got it. Do it for my niggas in the ghost right there. Do it for my niggas in the ghost right now. Niggas got killed for the boy, living dreams in the hills, and they watching for the boy right now. Got by the time what a year. We are what them young boys feel. I kill, never be killed. That's real, no lie. You can tell it from my peers right now. Don't you wanna f me now? Don't you wanna love me down? Girl, you can't tie me down like Ray J said, but no, I'm down. Freak it, nigga, show me something. Shake it like you owe me something. Push it on the like a button. More time, fifth time, still getting rowdy in the function.